Hello and welcome to a Remnant 2 build video. Today we're going to be using the ranged mutator Killswitch. If you're not familiar with it, it's a new one that kind of came around with the DLC or around that same time. But when you switch your weapon with that mutator on, it's going to explode, deal a bunch of damage within its radius, and then at level 10 it can reduce its cooldown by taking out enemies. Now there's two ways we're going to do this setup. So one is just going to be focusing solely on that mutator Killswitch, and then the other one will be using the toxic release valve, which is an amulet that also releases a toxic cloud whenever you switch weapons. It doesn't have to be a specific weapon, just switching them in general. I have to say, it's actually pretty fun. Build's pretty fun. It's not like super amazing necessarily, right? Like not like a meta build or anything like that, but it is very effective at clearing guys. And when I was testing it, I ended up finding that it didn't work correctly, and then as I did some research and I found some other things people were experiencing, it is kind of bugged. Shocking, right? But anytime you use the Killswitch mutator on like a shotgun or like kind of pellet type of weapon, it doesn't seem to know how to do the damage calculations properly. It cuts it really low. So like right now it says it should be doing 750 damage, but when I was trying it and I had it on the double barrel, it was only doing like 100 to 150 damage. So like it just wasn't just didn't do very well. It was not very impressive. Like it's still overall I was making things work, but it was mostly the toxic release valve. But now that I found out, like, oh, if you just don't put it on a like shotgun gun, then it's fine. So we're gonna do that. Now the build itself is not necessarily anything fancy. The idea that we're gonna do though, we use invader, teleport in, swap weapons to explode a bunch, and then we also have the tormented heart to also explode, and we've got the detonation trigger on, so those explosions are doing more damage and they're catching them on fire, which Killswitch will catch them on fire. Tormented heart, it was catching them on fire earlier today, so it should still be doing that. And then I've got some just generic damage increases. Burden of the Destroyer, I'm not using guns a whole lot, so this is going to be nice. Stone of Balance, increasing damage. Singe Ring, because we're doing the explosives, so they're catching on fire a lot, so more damage. And then Stone of Malevolence, because since I'm doing explosive damage, I put a bunch of explosive type of mods onto my guns. And then my secondary archetype is Explorer. I just wanted to go faster. The Scavenger perk increases all of our damage, which will help with the explosions and the elemental type damage as well. Unfortunately, with the Invader, its damage perk only affects ranged and melee damage, so it doesn't actually help out with our explosion, but we'll get over that. And then as far as traits go, really there's one in particular for the build that we want, and that's Amplitude, because that's going to affect our Killswitch. It's going to affect our Tormented Heart. So Amplitude, we definitely want that. It's going to help out with our toxic release valve as well. And then after that, it's kind of whatever you want. I did some of my more normal, like a live setup with regrowth, fortify, vigor. I maxed out expertise to get our like teleport back faster. Siphoner, because we're getting a lot of damage over time effects on guys. That's going to kind of get some good mileage. Glutton, I did put points in Glutton because of the Tormented Heart. I want that to come out really fast. And Fitness, just so our evade distance a little bit better. So, yeah, let's take it out there. Oh, let me show you the range. Let me show you how much range it actually has, like in a controlled environment. Because you can really see how well it does, like out there when it's just catching dudes like randomly, like nowhere near you. They're up in the sky and you're clipping all kinds of guys. But right here, you'll be able to see like just how far it goes. So we're standing by this dummy, swap it out, and you can see it's hit all of those guys. So it's a pretty good radius. And I mean, it's up in the air. As far as I can tell, it's a 360 like sphere. So is that really a 360, or is it more like a, like, I don't know what you call it, a 1080 or something? Well, let's get out there. We're going to go to Narud. I was running around in Lawsome with it. Yeah, I don't know. What else is there to say other than to simply show you what it does? This looks important. First impact, that dude is sliding, no big deal. We're going to teleport in, which will create a clone, so to distract them. And then there they go. They're gone, just like that. Now, unfortunately, the explosion itself did not actually, like, kill them. So it didn't get the cooldown off of, you know, the Killswitch. It was the burning that killed them. But, I mean, it wiped out both of them. There's no more guys to fight. 10 seconds ultimately doesn't feel too bad. It's not nearly as bad when you're also using the toxic release valve, because you can still get that aspect of like the build working. But with this one alone, at least you've got the burning effect doing quite a bit of work for us. We're not even at full power yet because we don't have our full stacks of scavenger up. So once we get the full stacks of that, and we're getting like another 25% damage bonus on top of it, it's going to be a lot better. And so that's like if, you know, I have the Tormented Heart on because it's more explosives. But if you wanted, I think in a way, the Lifeless Heart, the relic that has 20 charges right here, you could, you know, use that one just to be constantly buffed. Like just being able to use that to create more clones with the Invader archetype, get your constant stacks from the Explorer perk as well. But we'll go out here and then we're just gonna, you know, just kind of switch and boop, get rid of them. Took a second off the cooldown, which is nice. These little drones are pretty squishy, so we should be able to get some quick mileage out of it. Let's go ahead and swap like this. We've got our movement speed helping us out, and then boom, they're gone. And then we just keep running. That's part of the reason I like the Explorer with this, is you get that movement speed bonus from its first skill, the Planeswalker or whatever. And then you can just literally run around ignoring enemies, because movement speed is really nice when you're just like trying to avoid getting hit by guys. And then just keep swapping weapons and blowing them up. And so, yeah, maybe if we can get into a bigger fight, we can give it a go like that. I'm just going to keep swapping rapidly until it triggers. And there it goes. Took out a bunch of the little guys, so our cooldown is actually much lower. So it's already ready to go. Switch back to the long gun so that it's ready to go. As soon as we get in the fight, we can immediately swap instead of having to swap twice and have it trigger. That's our dude. Boom, he's gone. And that's something I like about this general setup as well. And it's true for other builds as well, like using something like the Spectral Blade, where you can just hit a large area without actually having to aim. Is you can clear out a lot of hidden enemies around corners, enemies through the walls, and then like not have to worry about them. So that is an aspect of the build that's really nice. It's just a great quality of life thing. It also doesn't rely on you aiming. It doesn't rely on ammo. And as far as I understand it, I haven't tested it, it shouldn't hit your teammates, I think. But yeah, who knows? Maybe it does. That'd be kind of funny if it blew up your team too. And that's a bummer when you only have the kill switch. If you don't get anybody and you're really trying not to just like shoot guys, you gotta wait that time limit for it to go back, and then you can blow them up. Also, sorry if I sound a little funky. I am once again sick. I'm pretty sure that the kids at work are they're just conspiring to kill me. It's like the third time I've been sick in like 2 months, which is just ridiculous. It's the worst I've ever had. Yeah, it's just awful. But let's go through this. There's gonna be some dudes. We're gonna be able to clear dudes down, out, and around us just like that. And by wiping out so many dudes right away, it's down to like a 4-second cooldown. Oh no. Get rid of him. Switch. There we go. Switch it back. Now let's get ready to blow him up again. Somebody, somewhere. Yeah, I know. Uh-oh. Boom. There we go. We'll just keep running. And then as they follow us, then we will activate it again, right? Just like this. Boom. There we go. It's really fun. It's nice. Like, it's not like, I don't know, like I said, it's not like a super effective build or something, but at the same time, I mean, I have not had any troubles yet, and I've definitely done other builds where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like do this whole fancy setup and do this and that and do this and that, and then I'm just dying and losing. And all I'm doing in this is running around and swapping weapons, and it's more effective than some of the other builds that I do, which is just silly. Oop, oh no. Let's activate Planeswalker, swap it back over, and then boom. Down to a 5-second cooldown. He's burned up. Easy enough. Oh no, more dudes. Switch and switch. There they go. Build is, or kill switch is ready again. They're gone. Uh-oh. Oh no. 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's ready to go again. And then you just keep going. It just keeps going like that. Poof. Now, there haven't been any elites yet. When we fight an elite, it's going to obviously take a little bit more work because they're not going to blow up right away. So we'll probably have to actually do gunplay. But that's also why we have a bunch of explosive mods, because you can just use the explosive mods to cover whatever situation is not working out here. Oh, like that dude. So So let's send out our own little space crabs. Swap this over. Swap it over. We'll go into you. Boom. Boom. Whoop. Now we got to be careful because we are very squishy. So let's teleport. Create a clone that'll distract them. More crabs. And then we kind of hang out for a second. I mean, there it goes. There it goes. That's setup number 1. Let's go ahead and switch it now. And we'll put on, how much level we got left? That is a small chunk. Let's go ahead and put on the toxic release valve. And we will do it like that. So it is over here. So it is going to do, if you're not familiar with this one, swapping their firearms releases toxic cloud, which deals acid damage. It implies corrosion. So we're going to put that on. Now, instead of taking Singed Ring, because we're no longer burning enemies, we're actually going to swap that out. And we're going to go ahead and put on the acid stone. We're just going to lean into the acid part of it and let that do some work for us. And in a way, this setup is a little bit smoother because more of your weapon swaps are going to do more. So you can have like a smoother transition like that, where you can just be constantly swapping weapons and constantly dealing damage. I mean, that's all I'm doing now. I'm just scrolling my mouse wheel and just swapping. You'll get toxic clouds finishing them. You'll get the standard explosions killing guys. Combination of the two. We're actually at the end of the level, so don't get to see much more. So we'll go to another place, get a little bit more on that. Maybe we'll find like an elite or boss or something. Alright, future domain. This will be interesting. I think for the overall, the dungeon clearing is going to be fine. The boss is going to be interesting because the bloat abomination thing has some interesting damage reduction stuff to it. Oh, you guys have shields? Oh, that's so cool. Let's teleport away, please. Shoot. Moving away. Oh, they're gone. We're going to use our relic here to blow him up. Boom. Boom. And now, ow. Jerk. And look at that. It's cleared out a bunch of dudes just by us just switching weapons. We're nowhere near them, and it's catching guys for us. Poof. And they're gone. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Alright, good group of dudes here. Ready? Big explosion and corrosion. Boom. Good to go. Cleared out 2 dudes with a baseline explosion, and then the corrosion finished off the 3rd. Swap it now. That'll probably finish him. Maybe not. I don't know. He's a little sturdier than I gave him credit for. Poof. Owie. Oh, hello. Oh, that's going to be scary. Let's teleport over there. Use our relic to heal up. Swap. Swap again. Just keep swapping. I think we will actually have to like do things here other than just swap weapons. Boom, boom. Swap, and then swap. We're going to have Planeswalker to give us some more movement speed. Helix Rocket swapping. Oop. Swap again. Keep some distance. You teleport over there. Swap again. Swap again. There we go. Yeah, definitely had to actually rely on other aspects of our build just to make sure we could actually take out the elite, which makes sense. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to completely avoid gunplay against every type of enemy. Definitely not against the bosses, but, we'll kind of see. Just going to keep swapping it. No big deal. Oh, no. Where are they at? Teleport in. Swap. Give it another second. And swap. There we go. Got some dudes here. 3 of them are here. And poof. There we go. Now, I feel like the intended way, like they had Killswitch, was for you to, either be like working on finishing a guy and then switch to it to finish the job. Or I guess maybe like, hey, your ammo's getting low on the first one, or you got to reload, so you just swap to your second gun. It does a nice little chunk of damage. And then you just finish them off with a tiny bit of gunplay if it doesn't actually work. But this is a lot of fun, though, just doing this. Alright, the recording for my first kind of go at this guy got a bit scuffed. It didn't go very well, which shouldn't be a surprise, because this guy, in order to really do damage to him, you have to hit him in the weak spots. And this explosive damage thing that we're doing is not doing it, right? Like, I mean, it does some damage to him. It's not bad, but it's nowhere near as good as if we were to actually, like, focus on a real like gunplay build that could break off his plates and do weak point damage. Whoop. Swap. And there's some damage. On the plus side, this setup with a toxic release valve is going to work better than Detonation Trigger, because Detonation Trigger, catch them on fire, and unfortunately with this liquid on the ground here, it kind of extinguishes that fire very frequently. Yeah, things just go way better when you're like look at this, is doing much more effective work than just swapping. Whoop. All right, so the rest of my recording was no good. It kept going in and out, in and out, in and out. And the fight itself, it was kind of boring. I ultimately won, you know, and you can't prove me otherwise. But, you know, it just took a long time. It took a while. The build was more effective against him than I gave it credit for. But in the end, you're going to be better off doing some kind of different build rather than this against a boss. So, I mean, unless you're like me and you get really stubborn and you just continue to use it regardless of how effective it is, it's pretty good for clearing guys. It's very fun. There's some flexibility in kind of what you do, you know, whether you do Toxic Release Valve or like Detonation Trigger. I'm sure there's some other combo you could maybe kind of run around with. I mean, shoot, you could probably even ignore like focusing on the kill switch aspect of it and just have that on there and just have the extra damage whenever you swap guns, because it's just a nice extra like switch weapons, and then there's suddenly an explosion that can help to finish enemies, get them closer to being finished, and then you can, you know, finish the job really quickly. So I don't know, on the whole, very fun, very satisfying just to switch weapons and watch things explode. But other than that, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Always appreciate it when you check it out. Hope you give it a try yourself. It's a lot of fun. You should definitely try it out. And until the next one, take care.